Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is June 15th, 2026. What I want to talk about today is allergies. There's, of course, to start with, the book Permanent Healing has an explanation of allergies. You can look that up. This is published by the School of Metaphysics, SOM Publishing, and it's written by Dr. Daniel Condren, and it encompasses a lot of the attitudes that cause specific ailments. So you can see what this book tells you. And in preparing for this talk or thinking about it, I was thinking the prayer of serenity came from the Bible. Well, I couldn't find it in my Bible reference thing. I couldn't find it. So I Googled it. And actually, it was a few hundred years ago. A guy who was a student of the Bible, who obviously had some deeper insight than what was normal, is the one that wrote this prayer of serenity. Let me just repeat it. Or the key portion of it, not the whole thing. But it said, God or Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I was assuming this came from the Bible, but I'm appreciating that somebody gained insight, and that's where it came from. And I have a particular appreciation for people who gain greater insight, because it is my experience at the School of Metaphysics and studying under some people who had gained a lot of greater insight into the Bible. And growing up in religion, I couldn't relate to the way it was being presented. So I set it aside. And I didn't pick it up again until I started School of Metaphysics at age 42. So I went through a lot of stuff. But let me back to allergies. I find myself telling somebody on a regular basis when they talk about the allergies I have, and said, well, it's easily fixed. Just like anxiety. I did a talk on anxiety, and it's easily fixed, and I explained that. So allergies, the key part of the prayer of, I just tell them, because I think everybody has heard or is familiar with the prayer of serenity. So rather than try to explain what I know about mind and break it all down, I'll give a person something they can relate to. I said, well, just use I ask them if they're familiar with the prayer of serenity, and they usually say, yeah. And I said, well, pay particular attention to the part that says, accepting the things that I cannot change. This is the key for allergies, because allergies come from the failure to separate and identify what is going on in your environment. It's just absorbed into the emotions. And listen to my talk on emotions to further understand emotions. So it seems that a lot of people are caught up in the emotional turmoil of what's going on in the world around them. And the allergies relate specifically to how you're relating to your environment, specifically people. So digest the prayer of serenity and use it verbatim. If you have trouble with allergies, use the prayer of serenity verbatim, especially the part accepting what you cannot change. Accept the way things are. And I did a talk of that. That is the only true beginning, is accepting things the way they are. And I did a talk on that. It's on this same list of talks that I do here, YouTube, and We're Valuable Media on Facebook. So not everybody is going to go to the trouble that I did and go to the School of Metaphysics to break everything down to where they can understand it like I did. That I got what I needed. So, and I encourage through my talks that a person, maybe the most important talk I've done is on the question, because if you've clarified the question and turn it over to your own soul will guide you to wherever you need to be to get the information that you need for where you are. Don't get anywhere by comparing yourself to where I am or where anyone else is. It's all about your relationship to the universe. And I did a talk about that. Because the universe is my friend. It gives me pretty much verbatim a reflection of what I'm giving. So it gives me a real way to understand myself in a better way, in a bigger way. So, allergies, accepting the way things are is critical for peace. And let me encourage you, since I mentioned the word peace, every morning on Zoom, there's a group of people that read the Universal Peace Covenant out loud every morning, have done for over 2,000 days consecutive, and they're continuing. People are dedicated to peace. But download a copy of the Universal Peace Covenant. Pay attention to the words. Get it into your head. And go to Peace Dome, D-O-M-E, peacedome.org, and you will find a way to connect with these talks in the morning. And if you want, I think they hang around after they read the Peace Covenant to talk a little bit, and you can join as part of that if you want. There's a lot of things you can join in, but give attention to peace, because as I've telling somebody recently who's had trouble sleeping, and I said, well, the only thing you can successfully take to bed with you is peace. Anything else you got going on in your head, take care of it before you go to sleep. And as Dan Condren points out, Daniel Condren, that allow nothing to get out of hand. Handle it as it comes up. And this is something I haven't been very good about, and I'm learning to handle things more speedily. I've got a good friend who's good at that. Handling things as they come up so you don't let them accumulate. You deal with it as it is and make the decision now. Take action on the decision. And so it's like having a mental broom. You sweep as you go, so that by bedtime, everything is swept out of the way. Or you've at least put it into a category, made plans about how to take care of this at a later time. But you're establishing a proper perspective related to this one thing, rather than just keeping it in your head and going over and over it and getting more and more bothered by it. If something bothers you, figure out why, figure out what you can do. If you can't do anything, let it go. Let it go. Because the opposite will produce allergies. And I tell people, the only thing I'm allergic to is money, because I can't get close to it. Or not yet, anyway. Still looking for that rich woman. That's also spiritual in nature. That would have to be. It'd be hard for somebody to put up with me if they're just ordinary thinker. I would get on the nerves probably. So accepting things that you cannot change. And there's a whole bunch of those things that I cannot change. And one of my talks is when President Trump gave his talk after a little while in office. He gave his talk on condition of the nation. Also talked to both houses of Congress and the world. And I won't go through all of the things that I went through where Trump is concerned, but I needed to find a way to accept that he is our president. That this is part of accepting things the way they are. The way they are. So one of my talks is on I forget what I called it now, but I did it the day after the president's talk, and I deliberately didn't listen to anybody else's comments before I did the talk because I wanted my own assessment of working through this process. And so I came to at least the point of acceptance. And as a part of this, I realized that acceptance is the only true beginning. Because until you accept things the way they are, you're not ready to start anything at all. All you're going to do is repeat. And usually repeating mistakes or repeating experiences. We learn from our experiences. And if we repeat experiences over and over without learning from them, that's the definition of a sin. Think about that one. Because a sin is a mistake where no learning occurs. And we learn from our mistakes. But if we don't learn from our mistakes, we start going downhill. It causes problems. So this accepting things the way they are is a much bigger thing than it may appear. So give it some thought. Look in the mirror 10 minutes a day. See where you are. Make notes. Make lists of things that bother you. If that's the way you need to work with it, make a list of what bothers you and start working through them one at a time. Why does this bother me? What can I do about it? If you say nothing, let it go. If something, make a list of what you can do and make plans to do that. Either do something about it or let it go. In this way, you are responding with your ability, responding to your abilities, and developing more ability to respond. And the whole shooting match is set up on responding or reacting. If you have allergies, you are reacting. If you get on the other side of that, then you'll be responding. There is a way on the other side of that. Yeah, the doctors can give you medicine and so forth, and these medicines are designed to bring the body back into wholeness. But I suggest that that only becomes necessary if you're failing to use what you already have. So use what you have, do your own research, look in the book Permanent Healing. Read Dan Condren's assessment on the Bible and several other people from the School of Metaphysics. It's called The Bible in Dream Symbols. It has 4 books, and I won't go into detail. But gather some of the information that's going to serve you, that's going to give you a way to get on down the road. And we're all on a road, which is a path, and everybody has their own path. It took me a long time to come to this and to realize this, but and this is why you can't compare two people, because no two people are in the same place in their own progression. Now, we were all given the same thing in the beginning. So, yes, everyone was created equal. Didn't stay that way. Everyone was created equal. Then people started ignoring, doing things a different way. This is part of the design, because through my experiences, I figure out what's the best thing for me to do, the thing that I can do that'll get me the most mileage spiritually. And I keep running across the people on the internet that want to me to get involved in, because in their mind, making money is the most important thing. So I have to tell them money is important, and I want to make money, more money. But it's not the most important thing. It's on the list, but it's not the number one. And you're treating it as if it's number one. And therein lies a lot of the problems. And this was stated pretty clearly. It's not money that causes a problem. It's the love of money. So examine that way of thinking. So yes, I do want to make more money. And I have plans to do that. But I'm not losing sleep over the fact that it's not here yet. Not here yet. I don't mean it's going to be. Because just lately, just in the last few months, year or so, I've had some things come to me that I've been wanting for a long time, but I finally relaxed enough to allow it to be. Allow it to be. It goes back to the question, and it may be the only question, to be or not to be. You are God incarnate. Everyone is. And yet, how much of that do you see? How much of that do you understand? This is why we're here, so we can understand who we are and begin to respond from the standpoint of who we are, rather than what all this garbage we've heard. And it is garbage. Not that everybody recognizes that. As a person recognizes garbage, they can begin to clean it up. But first you have to recognize where garbage exists. Wasteful thinking is garbage. And if you want to know what wasteful thinking is, just observe people. Listen to them talk. And listen to yourself. Allergies can be described as the pain that is the way the system has of getting your attention towards something that needs to change. So change the things you can and let go of the things you cannot change. And start putting your attention on what you can do to make a difference in yourself, which will also make a difference in everyone else. Think about this, because your thought Each thought does not end with you. It keeps expanding, keeps going out, keeps traveling until it touches everyone and everything. I'm Winston Cunningham. Thank you.